And completing a hat-trick of interesting women in my studio today. A very good afternoon to you, Teresa Day.
Good afternoon.
Is it Teresa or Teresa?
Teresa.
Teresa, thank you very much for coming in. You are a dentist from Buckinghamshire.
Yes.
With a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, I have a practice in Milton Keynes, and we go out every year to treat the children in Morocco.
Morocco. Now, bearing in mind that I have an absolute total fear of the dentist, even letting you through the door of my studio was quite a big thing. Thankfully, you haven't come clad in your medical gear, and you're not wielding drills or scrapers at me. So this is a very good start to the interview. Morocco. How did it come about that you started to treat children in Morocco? What's the story behind it?
The story behind it is that the chap that does our marketing for us lives in Spain, and his neighbour, who happens to be Belgian, does motorcycle tours to Morocco. And he was away on a motorcycle tour, and the daughter of one of the hoteliers at one of the little hotels they'd stayed at had really bad toothache. And he found out from the hotelier that they only have one dentist for about 50,000 people in that area, so the children rarely get to see a dentist and have a lot of dental pain.
What would the equivalent be here in the UK? It's one dentist for...
Usually most dentists treat between 1,000 and 4,000 patients.
So in effect there's 10 times fewer, up to 10 times or even 50 times fewer dentists in Morocco than there are here. So what happened then? That they discovered that there was a lack of dentists. Where did they take it from there?
Well, he then spoke to, as I say, our marketing chap over a barbecue or some such in Spain. And
alcohol.
And alcohol, I expect. He then phoned me and said, do you think we could do something with this? And I said, oh, it sounds really... not very nice for these poor children. He also spoke to a couple of other people that were in our marketing group, and we put together the Dental Mavericks. Our first trip was in 2010. There was 4 dentists went out and a couple of other people helping, and it was very ad hoc. We treated the children in the school classroom on school children's chairs.
Well, where did you go exactly in Morocco? Where was this?
It's a small village called El Jabbar. It's on the northern coast of Morocco, on the Mediterranean coast, quite a way east of Tangiers.
And far from Marrakesh as well?
A long way from Marrakesh, a long way from any of the sort of main cities in Morocco. So
to even get there, is it a boat from Spain or is it a flight?
We take a boat from Spain into Tangiers, and then it's quite a ride over the through the Rift Mountains to then drop down into El Jabbar.
I've driven.
The road's better now.
I've driven past that boat on a number of occasions. It's Algeciras, isn't it?
That's
in
right,
the south of Spain. I've stayed near there on many an occasion. So you started to describe the Morocco that you saw to me. You say it's very mountainous. It sounds like the journey was a little bit dangerous.
Well, the first year we went, the road was broken in quite a number of areas. This year when we went, the road is almost finished, so there's only a couple of areas where it's a little bit rocky. But usually we have a problem getting our equipment through at customs, so we plan to do a couple of days walking in the Rift Mountains, which are absolutely beautiful.
So you arrive, you dump your stuff, or more to the point, the customs keep your stuff.
Yeah.
You disappear off for a couple of days to have a little bit of leisure time and free time while they clear your gear.
That's right.
What are they worrying about with your gear?
I think it's just a tick boxing exercise. They have to have all the number of forms in quadruplicate, etc., etc. It happens in a lot of places apparently.
Do you describe these hills in which you walk?
Well, some of the trails are not trails as we would know them, because they're not hiked a lot, so they're goat trails, or the locals might use them with their donkeys. And when we went in 2010, my husband and our guide, it took them an hour to get me down one particular slope because it was so treacherous, and I don't exactly have a very good balance, and I can
completely sympathise with you on that.
And I was not a very happy bunny.
Were you really scared?
I was very scared, yes. Yeah.
At that point were you thinking, that barbecue, I wish it never happened? Something
like that, yes.
probably more elaborately put, I suspect.
Yes, I might have said a couple of rude words.
What were you doing for food on these treks?
We stopped at little Moroccan villages, or well, not so much villages, little Moroccan hamlets, and we had Moroccan packed lunch. We stayed overnight in a little auberge at the top of the mountain.
What was in the
which
packed
was
lunch?
Ever so basic. And one of our guys ended up with really bad stomach problems afterwards.
I was hoping you were going to tell me that it was a wonderful feast, albeit a simple one, but no.
No, well, it's couscous with lots of vegetables and tiny bits of meat. You know, so it's not exactly elaborate food, but it's quite interesting.
And how were you received when you went to the village for the first time?
With enormous open arms. They were delighted to see us, and delighted that someone actually cared enough to come and help their children. And you know, we've decided to just work with the one school rather than try and spread ourselves too thin, because you can only make a difference if you can go back.
I have limited experience of Morocco, well, very limited. I've never been, but my limited experience is that I lived in the north of France for many years, huge Moroccan community there. And I have to say, a more welcoming, hospitable, cultured, particularly around their food culture, community you couldn't hope to meet. Did you find the same when you went there?
Very hospitable. When we went the first time, after we'd been treating the children, the local director of public health actually came and had dinner with us to thank us. And we had, and the village actually paid for our meal that evening, and it was, we got fish, and it was really quite an amazing spread.
We're talking about dentistry, but not quite as you know it. Teresa Day, a dentist from Milton Keynes, telling her story of how she's helped children in Morocco. Only one dentist per 50,000 people in Morocco. My word, that is quite a scary figure indeed. We'll come back with Teresa to find out about some of the challenges she faced doing her dentistry in Morocco right after this. At bbc.co.uk. Teresa Day, have you got any dogs yourself?
No, I've got cats.
See, I'm a dog lover. I find cats frustrating.
They're easier because they look after themselves, and I'm too busy to have dogs. I do like dogs.
Dogs are friends and cats require servants. Is that...
Something like that, yes.
Now, I've known some very nice cats, but I was bitten by a cat some years ago, and it's left me bitter.
Sad.
Yeah. Go back to Morocco. We're talking about your time in Morocco, where you've done your dental work out there, literally in a village in the middle of nowhere. It's a very altruistic pursuit. What kind of challenges do you face, apart from getting your gear out of customs and taking 2 days to do that? But once you're there, compared to being snugly in where are you in Milton Keynes?
In Appledore Clinic, we're in Midsummer Boulevard.
So compared to being snugly on Midsummer Boulevard, you're in the middle of Morocco. What are the challenges?
Challenges, really, it's not quite so bad now. We now have some portable dental chairs that we have on loan from DentAid, which is a big dental charity. So we take those with us. So we had 5 dental chairs this time, so we were able to put those into the local clinic. The first year we went, we were trying to treat the children, sat on little primary school chairs. So the 4 dentists that were there, we all went home with very bad backache, because obviously they're very low down.
And what about hygiene? How are you ensuring good hygiene?
Well, the first year was very difficult, because, again, just working in a school, but we'd taken gloves and all the other stuff with us.
Kind of having to make the best of a difficult deal.
That's right, yeah. Yes. This year, as I say, because we're working in the clinic, we've got access to proper hand washing facilities and things, so, and also we take all our own sterilising stuff with us, so it was a lot better. But other than that, the main challenge is the fact that the children's teeth are so badly decayed.
Really? Where do you start?
Yeah, that can be the problem sometimes. We were there for 2 days treating the children, and we had quite a few children we saw one day and took teeth out on one side, and we saw them the next day and took teeth out on the other side.
Wow. Which must have been quite horrific for the kids as well.
It is, but obviously they're already in pain, and they're actually pretty pleased to get out of pain, and the parents are so thankful, so grateful. It's quite humbling.
You say it's humbling. I imagine that's one of the things you're getting out of your work. Yeah. Why are you loving it? What do you love about going to Morocco?
Well, one of the other things is really, to a certain extent, those children and me. My first visit to the dentist myself was when I was 3.5 and I had 7 teeth out. So when I see those children come in with a lot of decay, I actually find it very emotional, because they're me. you know, at a similar sort of age.
Do you have children yourself?
No, I don't. You know, because I've been through that and had a lot of dental treatment all the way through my childhood, and it was only because my physics teacher pushed me that I went into dentistry. But I actually love it, as well as, you know, being pretty good at it. You know, I actually love dentistry.
What would you love about dentistry? Talking to someone who hates dentists, nothing personal. And nothing personal to any dentist listening across beds, Herts and bucks. I hate them. What do you love about being a dentist?
What I love about being a dentist is having a personal relationship with my patients, being able to do some miniature artwork, and actually being able to deliver dentistry painlessly.
Surely no such thing.
Oh, yes, there is.
What's next for the charity then? When do you go back?
We go back again next year, but in the meantime we're trying to instigate a plan with the local school. The headmaster is a very altruistic man. He's actually out of his own pocket and with help from friends, funded a small orphanage in the village for the children of, for girls that are whose parents live up in the mountains, so they actually live there during term time and go home in the holidays. And we're setting up a program with him to do toothbrushing with fluoride toothpaste, because we were astounded the first year we were there, only 20% of the children even had a toothbrush in the house.
Really?
So it might not even have been there. So they eat a lot of sugar and they don't brush their teeth, so a recipe for decay.
I often talk to people in the studio about how they're making a difference, and it's clear that what you're doing is making a difference. Does that make you proud?
It does, yes, very proud of the whole team. Yeah.
And a really interesting balance between your day-to-day, dare I say, and I mean it politely, commercial work,
i.e. Right, yeah.
what pays the bills, and able to make the difference in a part of the world that is underprivileged and in parts poverty-stricken, and really right. Making a difference to these young children. It's a great story, and I wish you all the very best of luck with your charity. Remind us what it's called, what the organisation is called.
It's called Dental Mavericks. There is a website, I think it's dentalmavericks.org or something like that, but if you Google Dental Mavericks you'll come across us. You can also find more on the Appledore Dental Clinic Facebook page or our website. Appledore
Dental Clinic. Teresa, thank you very much for joining me. Just hang back for a few minutes. I just wanted to look at, we'll do that during the next track. Coming up after 1 o'clock, we're talking about you thought I was being serious there for a moment, didn't you? You look very well, you haven't brought your equipment. Coming up after 1